and he answered. I sought the Lord, and he heard, and he answered. I sought the Lord, and he heard, and he answered. That's why I trust him. That's why I trust him. I sought the Lord, and he heard, and he answered. I sought the Lord, and he heard, and he answered. I sought the Lord, and he heard, and he answered. That's why I trust him. That's why I trust him.
Good morning. Welcome to the service of the Center for Divine Love. We are so happy to be here this morning. It is a beautiful day. Every day is a beautiful day. We are so blessed. Thank you so much, Michael. That was a beautiful song. We will not be before you long. We are right here at the Center for Divine Love, 3617 Wyoming in St. Louis, Missouri. This is a wonderful place. It is a place where love reigns supreme. We love you. We are happy to have you listening with us today and watching us on video. We are just going to have our statement of being. Then we are going to have a video from our praise team. Then we will be blessed with the message from Reverend Asa Aten. Then after the meditation and the speaker, we will have a selection from Cheryl Brown. Our offering will be Dr. Howard Denson, along with a Divine News segment that he'll be doing as well. So we're not going to be before you long. We want to remember a couple of our members who are not here today. The Reverend Dr. Tumpe, who is not feeling her best today, but we are going to hold her as well as our young ones who are not well today in prayer, knowing that where the thoughts and prayers of the righteous ones availeth much. And we know that the prayers of this congregation are healing. They've healed me, they've healed others, and they will always do what has to be done. Armed with that knowledge, we'll go ahead and do our statement of being, which will come up on the screen for those in the auditorium here. And our statement of being is that God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God and ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
In a little tent, oh, just like the river I've been running ever since. come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the skies. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to the movies, and I go downtown, but they keep telling me, boy, don't you hang around. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to my brother. I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. And oh, there've been times when I thought I wouldn't last for long. But now I know I'm able to carry on. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know change gon' come. It's been a long, long, long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. Yeah. Oh, it's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes it will.
The divine principle that we're investigating this morning is our understanding of where our power is. The scripture that inspired me this day is Proverbs 18 and 21, in which it says, life and death are in the power of the tongue. The tongue, metaphysically speaking, as our power,
is about the idea that we speak our reality into existence. The power that we have is by speaking what we say, we can manifest and bring things into existence. Now, what we generally speak is what we think. So when we think something and it's inappropriate, we have the ability, before we let that thing come out of our mouths, to head it off and turn it around. So when we in the New Thought world talk about your thoughts creating your reality, the power that enlivens the thought is when you speak it. So you have control of your thoughts. And if you don't want certain thoughts empowered, you have the ability to head them off by not letting the thought come out of your mouth. That is the key. So if you have a thought that may be inappropriate, like, oh, I'm broke, that's a common one. So when somebody says to you, would you like to go out to dinner? Your response is, well, I would, but I'm broke. As soon as you have that thought, head that thought off. Don't say it. Reformulate what comes out of your mouth and say, I didn't have that budgeted for this time. So you're saying, I don't have the money. But you're not saying that I'm broken, I'll never have the money, there's no hope for me. You were saying that because I didn't budget it, this may not be the time for me to step out. And that gives the other person an opening to say, oh, I'll cover it. You have to give people the opportunity to bless you. And you have to be aware of what you say. When you employ this principle and start heading off those negative thoughts at the past and replacing them with the power of powerful words, then you begin to use the paintbrush that creates the life that you want. And so it is.
Grandma's hands clapped in church on Sunday morning. Grandma's hand played a tambourine so well. Grandma's hand used to issue out a warning. She'd say, Billy, don't you run so fast, might fall on a piece of glass, might be snakes there in that grass. Grandma's hand, Grandma's hand soothe the local unwed mother. Grandma's hand used to ache sometimes. say, Billy, don't you run so fast, might fall on a piece of glass.
I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Clapped in church on Sunday morning. Grandma's hand played a tambourine so well. Grandma's hand used to issue out a warning. She'd say, Billy, don't you run so fast, might fall on a piece of glass. Might be snakes there in that grass. Grandma's hand. Grandma's hand soothe the local unwed mother. Grandma's hand used to ache sometimes and swell. Grandma's hand used to lift her face and tell her, she'd say, baby, Grandma, understand that you really love that man. Put yourself in Jesus' hands. Grandma's hand. Grandma's hand used to hand me peace. The candy. Grandma's hand picked me up each time I fell. Grandma's hand, boy, they really came in a handy. She'd say, Matty, don't you whip that boy. What you wanna spank him for? He didn't drop no apple core, but I don't have Grandma anymore. If I get to heaven, I'll look for Grandma's hand.
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad that you have decided to join us and to our social media audience. We welcome you into the sanctuary this morning. We're into another month. This is the second month in the year 2025 Historically, we celebrate Black history during this particular, or let's say the world celebrates Black history during this particular month. But for those of us who have African ancestry, I hope you celebrate African history every day. I would like to begin with moments of silence. On December 1st, 1955, in Montgomery, Alabama, a tired seamstress sat down on a bus. But she did not surrender her seat, and she did not surrender her power. Rosa Parks, all you all are familiar with, had no microphone, no grand stage. She did not march that day, nor did she give a fiery speech. What she did was simple. She served a greater vision of justice by refusing to comply with an unjust system. At this moment, she may not have known that her act of defiance would spark a 381-day movement, a wave of economic resistance, and a global symbol of civil rights. She may not have known that by sitting down, she was actually standing up for generations to come. What Rosa Parks teaches us is that the acts of service are not always loud, they are not always grand, and sometimes they are quiet acts of courage made in ordinary moments by extraordinary people. So I ask you all this morning, what will be your act of service? Today is a call to conscious action. As we gather today, and just not to remember history, but to stand in our power, to sit in our truths and our divine authority. The civil rights movement was never just about laws and policies. It was a spiritual movement, a bold demonstration of divine principles in action. It was built on conscious creation, not just reaction. It was a movement of acts of service, not merely for the benefit of our own and our communities, but as a testament before the world, before those who sought to oppress us and those who yet awakened to their own divinity. Yes, conscious creation was in manifestation. We're here today facing a moment that demands the same spiritual clarity, the same unwavering faith, and the same commitment to service. We live in an age where history is being rewritten and truth is being silenced. Voter suppression has returned, disguised under new laws. Economic oppression continues. It's widening the racial wealth gap. Mass incarceration continues to thrive. A modern-day plantation system. These are not coincidences. These are manifestations of an old, dying consciousness that thrives on fear and division. And so the question before us today is not whether injustices still exist. It's whether we will rise once again, rooted in the divine service, and declare with our actions that we are the architects of a new reality. Acts of service is the conversation this week, this month. Acts of services are actually the blueprint of liberation. Inside of New Thought, we are taught that the world as we see is a reflection of the consciousness or the consciousness that we hold. What you see without is a direct representation of what you have seen within. What you are experiencing today is yesterday's thought, worries, and anxieties. Today, if we desire to see justice, equity, and freedom made manifest, we must embody them in our thoughts right here, right now, in our actions today, and in our services. This is what the civil rights movement understood at its core was really all about. It was not just a resistance. It was not a reaction. It was a spiritual demonstration. The Montgomery boycott. It was not just about buses. It was about people affirming their divine dignity, choosing to walk rather than participate in their own oppression. The Freedom Riders, they did not just ride buses. They embodied faith, refusing to accept the illusion of white supremacy. The lunch counter sit-ins were not just about integrating public spaces. They were about young black men and women holding an unshakable vision of equality and manifesting it through unwavering actions. These were not just political statements. They were acts of faith. Living proof that when you align your consciousness with truth, you become the instruments through which the divine justice unfolds. We must understand that we are standing in a moment where the same forces of fear and ignorance seek to undo what has been built, seek to take back, to write back, to rescind what has been released. This goes to show us that if an oppressive people, an oppressive system is part of your liberation, then they can also be part of your future incarceration. Look out now. Who do you give your power to? So we're standing in a moment, a defining moment, a moment that will be written about in days to come, just as well as the history that we have read at one point was the present moment. This is where our service must rise. Not just as activism, but as living testament of spiritual principles, putting the practice to proof. We know that thought is causative. So we will shape a reality that reflects justice, or will we let fear take hold? What are you manifesting? What are you thinking about? What are you ruminating on? We know that we are divine expressions of God, or at least we are told we are. So will we walk in this truth or allow oppression to dictate our identity? Situations that are unfolding to dictate what we can do or what we can be. We know that true power is not given, it's realized. Let me say that again. True power isn't given, it's realized and then it's actualized. So we must claim it, or we will remain in reaction. So let's be clear. We will not be erased. We will not be silenced. We will not shrink before the false gods of supremacy, oppression, and historical amnesia. Instead, we will serve. We will serve our children by teaching them the truth of who they are, and even when their textbooks won't and their teachers can't, we will. We'll serve our communities by uplifting black wealth, black businesses, and black self-determination. We will serve the world by showing up as the divine creators we were meant to be, not as victims, not as beggars, but as architects of a new reality. You and I have a charge. This is our true act of service, to live out our spiritual truth before a world that denies it. We're inside of a spiritual practice called divine science, which is part of a larger umbrella called New Thought. What makes us different is the practice, not the word that is preached. Is that which we take to application, is that which will bring forth the manifestations that we desire. Manifestation does not start with physical activity. It starts with mental thought. As a man or as a woman, as a child, as humans, as we think, so are we. The issue today is that we have been sold and told what we aren't. But I stopped by to tell you today who you are. You're created in the image, after the likeness. You have the propensity to do on a small measure that which God has done on a bigger measure. And until you take on the mindset that you are the creator of the reality in which you live, you are succumbing to a lie that things are happening to you, when in all reality, things are happening through you. This is our true service. To live out our spiritual truths before the world that they can see it. And when history looks back on this time, let it be said, we did not falter. We did not return to old practices. We did not merely remember, we embodied. We did not ask for permission to exist. We commanded our reality into being that no human being can circumvent. So today it's a call to action, a call to service. I challenge each of you who are under the sound of my voice that don't get caught in the narrative of what has been that has limited you to where you are now. How has what you've been doing worked for you? And it's psychotic to keep doing what you've been doing, expecting to get a different outcome when you keep doing it the same way. So what makes you think if you keep thinking an old thought, you're going to have a new outcome? Guard your ear gates. Guard your eye gates. Watch what is being televised, telecasted into your life. Be careful. We don't walk by sight. We walk by faith. And faith isn't a hope for something. Faith is a knowing of something. We have to understand that the world in which we live, we are ambassadors. The word says that we are ambassadors of a Christ consciousness. I know it has been misappropriated and mistaught that we are ambassadors of an individual. But that same individual said, let this mind be in you. Let it not be looked at as robbery to consider yourself co-equal with God, operating as God. Continue to operate as a black man. Continue to operate as a black woman. Continue to operate in humanity, and you will get human expressions. But when you learn to walk outside of your phenotype, be you male, female, white, black, Hispanic, brown, whatever you may be in the natural, and you ultimately step into your divine essence, then you can overcome all things. Then you have the I can. That you can do all things by the consciousness that resides in you. That's important. This morning I have a declaration of divine power and service as my closing affirmation. So I want us to take a moment right here, right now, and center ourselves in the infinite presence, the one power, the one mind, the one love that governs all things, all people. We stand today in the awareness of our divine nature, knowing that we are not separate from source, but are living expressions of it. We declare that we are not bound by history, nor confined by oppression, for we are creators, manifestors, and the rightful heirs of infinite possibility. Right here and right now, we affirm we are vessels of divine justice. Where there is division, we bring unity. Where there is fear, we bring faith. Where there is oppression, we bring liberation. We are the architects of a new reality. We speak truth. We serve with purpose. We move with power. Every step we take is guided by divine wisdom. Every action we make ripples into the collective awakening of humanity. We are unshakable in our service. We refuse to participate in narratives of limitation. We release all our doubts, all hesitations, all illusions of lack. We walk forward in the full authority of our divine inheritance. As our ancestors stood in faith, so do we. As our elders served in love, so do we. As the visionaries before us built a new world, so do we. We claim our birthright of freedom. We stand at the embodiment of truth. We serve as the living presence of God in action. And so, knowing that all is already done in divine consciousness, we give thanks this morning. We release this word into the law, knowing it cannot return void. We say yes to our calling. We say yes to our power. We say yes to the work ahead. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. And so it is.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we see, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. Darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. When the sky that we look upon, tumble and fall, all the mountains crumble to the sea. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me. Oh, 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 stand by.
kind of without words. That was as powerful a message as I have ever heard, and as on point as it could possibly be. We want you to know that it is very easy to join this church. We don't ask anyone to give up any faith tradition. We expect you to be on your own faith journey in direct communication with God. So here's all you have to do. Either by coming down and saying it before us, or by going to the website. There's a join button, and in 30 seconds you can join us. What you affirm is that you realize that you're an individualized expression of God. Then you affirm that you recognize that it's our job to be God's workers on planet Earth, not God for us. That he created the environment in which we can accomplish anything, but we have to be willing to act. And we have to decide what it is we want to accomplish. And then you say this and you're a member. Recognizing that we have both the power and the obligation to manifest God's love on planet Earth, I personally commit to expanding the impact of the Center for Divine Love and its Empowerment Center. That's it. It's spreading the message that Greg gave today, that we can accomplish whatever we will because God is love and only love. And when we act with love, evil cannot stand. But we have a few centuries of saying, don't even think about that. Don't go there. And it was a time, yes, during American slavery when we could not. But that is not today. And finally, we have to realize that there's a magnitude of internal trauma that is devastating our community. I call it unconscious negative mental legacies of slavery. Things that were necessary to survive slavery are now our worst enemies. And the reality is, just as it's very simple to take that step into divine science by recognizing that God does not want to judge or punish you. God is love and wants you to expand in your love while you're having this experiential visit to planet Earth. We have to recognize that only African Americans can heal the African American community, and that healing is exactly what we need. We didn't cause the pain, we didn't cause the harm, but it's within our culture moving from generation to generation. And here's the greatest news ever, folks. The second you realize it has no power anymore. Because the entire truth will set everyone free. The entire truth will set everyone free. And as Greg so illustriously pointed out, there are people trying to bury truth behind laws that are ridiculous. So, if you want to support this ministry, you can send your donation to 3617 Wyoming Street, made out to the Center for Divine Love, or you can go to centerfordivinelove.org and scroll down, and near the bottom, there's a place where you can give. And understand that giving is a privilege. Giving is a joy. Giving is a way to join together and make a difference. And we are stepping out, including every Tuesday this month from 6 to 8. And we hope you will come and bring everybody you know. Everybody's invited. We're going to be showing the video called Listen to the Ancestors, They Deserve to Be Heard. And all I can tell you is most people find it among the most enlightening, empowering, healing thing that they've ever experienced. We will start exactly at 6. We'll be out exactly at 8. Every Tuesday, So you can make all 4 if you want, but it'll be the same thing. But what we hope happens is we go from about 50 people to 100 people, to 200 people, to 400 people. And that during this Black History Month, we equip 750 people to recognize and act upon their divinity. Can we have the doxology?
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Our chaplain, Reverend Dr. Neonat Tumpe, I want to say thank you for being with us today and hope that you will be with us always. Our services are on Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Time, but there are dozens of services that you can experience from home, streaming, from our website, anytime you want. And there's magnificent music there. You can go through individual speakers such as Greg and go from Greg to Greg to Greg. As you know, we rotate during the month. And let's end with a prayer and then go right into our peace song, which we always end with. Please close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths and center yourself. And first, we want to thank our ancestors for choosing life in the days when hope unborn had died and death would have been a sweet release so that we could know today. We want to thank them for enduring so that the world could see the insanity of chattel slavery. And we want to thank them for not killing everybody in the night, because heaven knows they could. We have lost our way. We are passing the trauma of slavery from generation to generation. But we know that the second we know the truth, the negative power of that cultural intergenerational trauma becomes the healing and empowering love of cultural intergenerational triumph. And all our ancestors want is for us to exercise the freedom we have today to let love reign, to come together, more than just individually healing and empowering, and your children and your family and your friends, but for us to join together. In fact, that's what Center for Divine Love is here for, why we exist, why we've been brought here, to carry the empowering message of love to everyone. And everyone has been impacted by slavery in this country. In fact, let's end this prayer with a simple question. Would you have rather been the slave or the slave owner? Amen. And so it is.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment